Yo, check me out, I'm elderb. We're doing another Before the Window Closes episode for Reentry. I'd like to say that I've been watching this game for a long time, but that would be lying to you. Just recently kind of caught wind of it and threw it on the wish list, and then it released out of early access. 1.0.7 I think is out now, already with bug fixes and such. Anyway, long story short, this is a space flight simulator game, and it's like a fully interactive cockpit with all the switches and historically accurate to the Gemini, Mercury, and Apollo missions. Lots of great videos from the dev, obviously very committed to the project because he has taken the actual flight manuals and procedure manuals and made, like all the actual procedures and stuff. So, from my understanding anyway, you technically could jump into, a Gemini cockpit if that were still a thing. Obviously, it's been many, many years since that has been, and actually run the procedures for this thing. So, the reason I'm so excited for this is I'm a huge fan of Kerbal Space Program. As I'm sitting here clicking around, I have 2 minutes in Reentry, just like always, just enough to get the settings right for recording. I don't have volume correct yet, so we'll have to see what happens there. But other than that, I'm going to see it for the first time as you see it. Anyway, as I'm playing around before I get into the game, Kerbal Space Program, I have 178 hours, which I thought I had more than that. But this is probably going to get me at least excited enough to jump back into that if we don't end up keeping this. But this is a lot of babbling, a lot of talking, just to get to the point that we're going to start up Reentry and do our 2 hours of gameplay to see if we're going to keep this bad boy or not. Tea of the evening is green tea. It's time for Reentry.
If this capsule history of our progress teaches us anything, it is that man in his quest for knowledge and progress is determined and cannot be deterred. The exploration of space will go ahead, whether we join in it or not. And it is one of the great adventures of all time. And no nation which expects to be the leader of other nations can expect to stay behind in this race for space. We choose to go to the moon in this decade and do the other things, not because they are easy, but because they are hard.
I was really hoping, I didn't know if it still played the intro after you've already watched it, and when I did my little test run for the settings and whatnot, it played the intro, and I was like, oh no, am I going to miss out on that to be able to record that? But anyway, we didn't. So, quickly, how we're going to play this. We're going to play this exactly the way the developer recommends not to do it, because I assume he made his video talking about how, what not to do, because that's what he expects people to do, right? So it was like, you jump in, you can go through each one of the space programs. So Mercury, the first manned space flight from the US anyway. Gemini, the first to go around the moon, and then Apollo to land on the moon, right? Well, I'm sorry, Gemini was for orbit around Earth, and then Apollo orbit the moon, and then eventually land on the moon. So what he says is that people are going to go in here. I don't think you can get into these. I'm not sure. But essentially he was like, you're going to want to go, and as soon as you play this game, you're going to want to land on the moon. You're going to want to jump into Apollo. But you're not going to get it. Like, there's too much. It's too complex. Start with Mercury. So what we're going to do is exactly the opposite of what he recommended to get a good feel for this game. We're going to try to land on the moon. And then as soon as it becomes too much, too overwhelming, like we don't get it, that's when we're just going to back out and go to, is it Mercury first and then Gemini? Interesting. It's like Where spacecraft selection? Yeah, Mercury and then Gemini. We'll go back out to Mercury and then do what the proper thing, what you're supposed to do. But first up, let's Academy. See, I didn't want to do. Okay, it's gonna make you do the Academy. So scratch that. Let's just go ahead and start out. Now there's the manuals on the web. I probably should go through that, but since we're just kind of giving the game a feel, we'll kind of go exactly through all this. Alright, so teach you the basics of Mercury cockpit panels, some of the internal systems and how to navigate around the cockpit. I could jump back. We could do the Apollo lessons, but I think that's not going to be as good of a use of time. I don't think it'll do us any good to be frustrated. Let's go swimming in the shallow end before we go diving in. Alright, so this is Mercury. Learn Mercury fully before starting Gemini, then learn Gemini before attempting Apollo. See there at the bottom is the summary of what that video was about. I hadn't checked into it because I don't like to look up anything before we play these, but it seems like he's got a lot of tutorials and kind of videos to walk through this stuff, because obviously this is probably going to be as complex as you can imagine it would be. I'm a little concerned about the loading bar that is now stopped. Okay, there we go. And then and as soon as I mention it, just kidding, it's finished. I don't know what kind of sound effects and music-y type stuff there will be. As soon as I say that, it turns up. So I'm going to keep checking over, peeking on the adjustments for that, just to make sure. I don't know if this is going to cut your sound. Okay, no, it looks good. Okay, player one. Patrick is going to be my. I like how you can deny it. What do you mean? No, you can't be my instructor. Sitting inside the capsule. See, I don't even know how to look around and stuff, so I think doing the tutorials just makes sense. Hold it down, move your mouse. A little janky. I probably need to turn some settings down. We have 59 minutes to launch, is in the upper left-hand corner here. So let's be mindful of that. Okay, did that. Using the arrow keys. Okay. It's a little janky, I'm not sure. What did that tell me? Out of bounds. Okay, so there's a zoom in and out, left and right. Are we... What's going on out there? Okay. I don't think I hit anything. We'll see what happens. View selector. Oh, okay. I didn't even notice this over here. Oh, they're pulling the ramp back. That's cool. And the seats. That's nice too. It just jumps you over to the different panels. Let's take a peek here. Get us zoomed out a little bit. I don't even know what we're dealing with in terms of panels in this bad boy. Retro rockets, emerge. This is super cool already. Like, just the fact that this is what you would do, like you would put your mods on in Microsoft Flight Sim just to get this level of fidelity for switches and stuff. I do need to really quick turn this down. We're gonna do minimum and see how that stands. I think that already did its thing. Okay, yeah, that's a lot smoother from my old hunk of junk. Okay, view sensor, got it. The mission pad. So we got the mission pad. The tutorial will teach the basics. Launch time. I had read, I don't know if it was a review, somebody had said you get the hour to launch this thing and they missed the launch window, so I guess I need to be blabbing and clicking as kind of at the same time here. A briefing page, a map, all the checklists, a radio transcript used to read the mission log, and a notes section. I'm assuming we're gonna go through these.
kind of non-interactive. Okay, that's cool. You can drag that off to the side there. I think we'll roll with that there for now. Can move almost every UI. The function bubbles. Okay. So stuff that you would do, you know, without kind of a switch that particularly goes with it. I didn't realize it's got this mission kind of task window up here as well. Current objective window. Oh, that's what that was. Okay, I came up with these. Got it. Okay. Yeah, I'm not worried about that. We can bring them both up. Okay, so enter key will close that. I do need to check. This is probably what I should do during initial setup. Yeah, that's going to be an issue. That's my mute key for my microphone, so I'll just I'll do it manually, so I'm not launching us around in space while I'm trying not to sniff at you and such. Okay, we have a flashlight. That's cool. Follows your view or your mouse. Like it. Okay, we know colors on the dashboard. Okay, we have green, kind of orange. Yeah, okay, I didn't even notice that they were color coded there. Alright, those fuses. Apply attitude sensors sequencer. Yeah, I know that's a shoot from Kerbal Space Program, but like some of this stuff, I don't even know what, like, you know, retro rockets you get, separate capsule, jettison the tower, and like snorkel. What do you mean? Oh, okay, there's zoom in and out rather than go forward and back. Central gauges. Alright, now, being a pilot, I should be able to... It's kind of interesting. It's not a vertical speed indicator, it's a descent. Altimeter, accelerometer, so our G force there. Fuel gauges. What else we got? Earth path indicator. I'm assuming that's what this is, maybe? Periscope. Okay. I need to pay more attention than I'm going to for all this, but if I literally spend time like just looking at knobs and switches, we'll never get into the meat and potatoes, if you will. So I will kind of just quickly go through this. Radio controls, ECS. Okay, we got O2 stuff. That's a little too sensitive. When I grab that camera, I'll have to make sure I'm not whipping us around and giving us whiplash here. Okay, cabin pressure and then the suit. I think there's failures in this too that are possible. Well, they just got this game last Friday for me, large learning curve. Yeah, man, it's you're seeing the first, I'd say 12 minutes of me getting into it. So being a big Kerbal Space Program fan, we'll see. You know, I don't think any of that's going to translate over to this, but we'll give it a shot for sure. Odor, yeah, there's like stuff like this I'm not going to remember, right? Like odor removal. Suit number 1, primary number 2 is backup. It'd be cool too if it kind of get blood pressure start and stop. I don't think that's what I think it means. Okay, there's suit control. Let's ensure the primary fan works.
Plus enough mouse button. Oh, okay, left and right switches, that's cool. Oh, I didn't even see these. I was looking at the green panel. F7 to move the can. Okay, so that's just these. I'm not worried about that. You see all the scratch pads and notes I have on my desk pile? I don't. I put myself under the 2-hour return window pressure, so we'll see how well I fare with that. I already feel like, you know, that countdown timer is going, 51 minutes left. Like, let's see if I make it. Alright, suit fan. See, I don't feel like I'm like dead onto that either. Number 2, number 1, and I can't even see what it says on the right side there. Norm, okay. Launch can be put on hold. That is good to know, but we're not doing it. We're launching on time, baby. Normal control fans automatically. Force thwart fan. Set it to number 1 now. So, just one click. There we go. Switch it 1 step. And then 1 step again. Got it. Left to left, right to right. Even the music is like intensifying. Okay. Predefined camera. Yeah, I'm not going to remember the hot keys, so I'm not worried about that. External view we checked out, and we're not in orbit yet. Arming the squibs is essential. Arm the squib now. I do like that that kind of cue off screen there to show you which way to even look. Alright, arm the squibs. Auto retro jettison. Arm it to, this should be done beyond during ascent. Okay. I haven't, my peripheral is catching the window going away, and I think that's the what to do that I'm missing out on there. Okay, next is a knob. That makes sense. Right is clockwise. Main battery standby and isolated. Squibs are connected to isolated. Okay, so ISO, so we want to go clockwise. We've got 28 volts. Okay, we've checked it. Times 0. Okay, but you don't actually want me to do that yet. I don't know what that technically does. We'll find out. Okay, protected switches. I don't like you don't really get the visual for that being a protected switch. I don't know if I'm just not looking at that right, but to me that doesn't look like... Okay, that's why. Because it's literally that is the cover. Don't press that button. Don't tempt me. I might have to see what happens. Triggering them will lead to an inadvertent action or an adverse action. Alright, right panels. Radio comms, UHF and HF, very familiar. Oh, okay, this is the checklist, I guess, window that's popping up. I don't think it explicitly told us that, or I missed it. Primary high-powered one uses a booster. Set UHF select power. Let's kick that switches out of the way. Yeah, I get the purpose of the switch highlighting, but it almost makes it difficult because it's hard to see that that's low power and high power left and right. Go to high power. Okay. Transmit switch. There. Got it. Set to UHF, and if you switch radios, go to HF. Radio command. Is there... No, okay. Radio check.
You better read me 5x5. Okay, go to low power. I'm assuming we're going to do another check. I didn't pay attention to where it, you know, where your player name is, so I enjoy that I'm player 1. HF, here's nerd stuff incoming. At least inside the atmosphere, bounces off the atmosphere to reach long distance. Yeah, 5, 6, F5, F6, F7 for quick focus. Left, right, or left, center, right. Is that correct? I hadn't even tried it yet. Oh, okay. Center, left, right. Well, that's not very intuitive. Put the middle button to go to the left, and the left button to go to the middle. Oh, I don't think I checked on the HF. Mission pad, that's what we had up there. Write your own notes, huh? Oh yeah, I don't think I could do that. I think I would have to do what you're doing and just write some notes on paper. That's what I thought too. I mean, it just seems like you'd think about it, right? Like hit the left, the button on the left to look left. Let's close that. It's excessive. Okay. Yeah, you better read me once again. Okay, I understand a decent amount of the switches, but... Alright, mission accomplished. I like how this check mark is like backwards. Is that like a left-handed thing? What's going on there? Alright, so I'm assuming we can end mission and move on. So I'm intrigued already. Let me turn. It looks like my mic is screaming at you. The level of intrigue is there. I do hope there is a little bit of action. Maybe you can remap them, just hadn't looked for that. You must be able to, I assume so. It seems like he's done at least a pretty good job. Did we do pre-launch? Is that what we were just in? Somewhere I feel like you've got like what you've completed. Maybe not. I guess, does it give you a check mark? It does. All right, there we go. All right, for 2, launch and ascent. This is what I'm hoping for, to just get me off the pad and kind of give me a taste of what flying these bad boys is kind of like, or at least, you know, flipping switches and making explosions happen. It's automated, emergencies can happen. Monitor the gauges. Let's go. My tell for playing DayZ and drinking tea is that I run straight forward and just strafe to turn. I don't know what my tell will be for playing Reentry. Hey, thanks, man. I appreciate that. I guess the tell will be similar for all games, though. If I'm not flapping my yapper, then there's probably a tea mug up to my lips. Okay, going to the pad. We're launching. No failures. Yeah, my initial plan was like, I'm going to do what they said not to do and just go try to do Apollo. And I'm glad I didn't do that because I don't even know how to look around until you do like the first lessons of it. So I think this was a better use of time to actually get some stuff going here. All right. I'm not really like a space history nerd, but I can imagine like that is a huge draw. Like that's definitely the demographic for a game like this. Just flight sim in general, but then you put stuff in space and you know it's a good demographic that people really hadn't looked into yet. I'm clicked out of it and that's why I'm not looking around. I'm like, why isn't this working? Okay, all the steps to launch. It looks very launchy already. Oh, it's just dark and scary. It's like DC's where it takes an hour just to get the plane started. I'm not familiar with what DC is. You'll have to enlighten me. And what's our monitors? We lift off. Complete each of the Academy lessons twice. Psh.
Come on, man. I'm already a seasoned astronaut. We don't need that. Twice to build on that overview. I'm totally going to mess it up. Oh, Digital Combat Simulator. Yeah, I got a buddy that plays that. I hear it's pretty crazy. Pretty in-depth. The free, but the planes cost, right? Like you have to basically get like a DLC for each one of the different aircraft you want to fly around. Main task is monitor instruments. Periodically being prepared for an abort. I don't even know where... We didn't talk about abort. Don't worry about that. Some of them, yes. Yeah, my buddy's talking about they like to fly around with helicopters and shoot each other and stuff. I'll have to check it out. I've got Flight Sim, and I honestly haven't even been flying the planes in that I fly, but that'd be something cool. Abort top left. The big button that says abort. Maybe if I looked around. Yeah, this is why I didn't do Apollo. There's like, what, 2 buttons that kind of look like that, and that one, you know, it doesn't get more obvious. Okay, 20 minutes away. Hold the countdown manually. We're not going to do it. Just below the green section of panels. Hold countdown. Got it. Don't want it. Don't touch it. We'll see about that. If I make it, any monkey can fly the Apollo. If I make it to that, we'll see if we test that theory. I don't want to hold it. Player 1 holding countdown. Okay, got some switches. I don't know if this is happy with me doing that or not, but we're resuming that countdown. Alright, the checklist. Two checklists to complete before we can ascend. Full internal power and the final checks. Full internal power. Okay, checking bus voltage and current. So we have voltage and current. Request blockhouse to remove external power. I'm assuming that's going to be switched to internal. Use the tools menu below radio panel. Yeah. Okay, we're going to roger that because I'm assuming you're now on internal power. I do like the progression of the game. I'll be quiet now so you can focus. I'll just lurk for a bit. Yeah, no worries, man. I appreciate you coming by. Thanks again for the support. But feel free to save me if I'm about to blow something up. Alright, so we have all our battery type stuff. We're looking for isolate battery switch to norm. We got that. That's in norm and clicked just to check. Standby battery switch off. It is. Verify all batteries and main bus voltage. So this was F7 to give us a better view. This was the battery switch. All batteries and main bus voltage. So if we go and click these bad boys over, and the standby should be off. Okay, those are 24 volts. That makes sense. 10 amps, 10 amps, 10 amps. Back to main. Much higher load. At T-5. This one's easy to really get you acclimated with the panels and what the switches do. It's helping, honestly. Like, you know, I'm not, you know, totally unfamiliar with this kind of suite of switches. Just maybe a little less archaic. But, yeah, this is definitely the way to go about this game for sure. T-5, start final checks. I'm going to cheat, and we're going to go over to final checks anyway. Because who wants to sit here and wait for 10 minutes? We will acknowledge all this good stuff, though. We're currently holding the countdown. Well, you're a liar, because I've already told them to go ahead. T-10, the power source is switched from external to internal. I feel like, too, when you come back and run these missions, you're not going to remember stuff like that unless you take notes like you have. So that's probably something I should have been doing. Start to read some of the gauges while you're launching due to the shaking. I mean, I'm looking forward to see how they do it. I bet I imagine it's gonna be pretty well done because it's already pretty cool. To avoid consuming power from the internal system before the mission even starts, which we're already draining amperage. Everybody loves that. Or voltage rather.
Take a look at the panels in front of you, try to locate DC amps gauge. Yep, we've already done the checklist, so I think I should have let it walk me through it, but got it. Left side is voltage. Okay, I was about to say, I think I made it mad because I rushed it a little bit, but set this to 1. Voltage battery. It is, I guess, you know, if you've not done stuff like this, maybe it's a little better to do this. It does feel a touch hand-holdy, though. I know that seems ridiculous, but I'm like, you're saying check the batteries, but we checked the batteries in the first lesson. I don't know. I know. I'm getting nitpicky now. Okay, during the power transition to power important monitor. I'm pretty sure we already did that. Just heard about this game, and I see it's been out in some form of beta for a while. Yeah, I saw that he's been working on it for quite a bit, which makes sense. You can see how extensive it is just from the cockpit. I just found out about it myself. Maybe a week ago I put it on the wish list, I think. Specifically to do, you know, this stream, so pretty excited for it. More in the electrical power system lessons. Yeah, I think the pacing is confused because I told it to do its countdown. So this is telling me complete the panel configuration. Oh, it's waiting for me to do that. Okay. Hope they get the shuttle in the future. That'd be super cool. That's going to take some work, though, for sure. Oh, it reverted. When I told it to do stuff, it was like, I'm not listening to you. You don't know what you're doing, new guy. Okay, now on internal power. Main bus voltage of 23 to 27 volts and a consumption of 20 to 40 amps. Looks good to me. Okay, check number 1. Same, about half the load, which makes sense. Check number 2. Still looking good. Check number 3. Amp should be 0 on the standbys and the isolation. Oh, I'm rushing it. When you go through stuff like this, though, it's rather intuitive, right? Like, you're checking batteries, walk through the batteries. You've turned some off, so those are going to show nothing. And then set it to isolation, we just did. Squibs are explosives. I'm assuming that's going to, like, maybe pop the chute, something like that. Would make sense to me. Isolated battery, 29 volts. Sure looks that way. Back to main. Okay. Everything's looking good. Something you do periodically during the ascent, preferably every 30 seconds. I am not going to remember that. I mean, why is this stuff turning on and off? 10 minutes before ignition. So I feel like this is a little confusing too, because we should already be on it. Maybe that's just telling you for next time. I'll now teach you how to do the thing that you did like 5 minutes ago. Okay, we resumed. Oh, okay, cool. I didn't know you could speed up time. That is good to know. Is 3 gonna like blow me away and not be able to catch up to it? Nah, it's fine. Okay. T-minus 11. It's funny too because I'm like, you know, I've got, I actually don't have my timer going like I usually do for these playthroughs. Need to keep track of that. Don't go past T-minus 5. I will try. We're about 30 minutes into play, so we have an hour and a half left to really get the feels for this, if you will. But I forgot to set my timer. I'm glad we're talking about timers. It's not cheap, I would say. I'm pretty stingy on games, so I think it was $28 on sale right now. So for me, that's a hefty price tag. But I figure my kind of formula, if you will, go just a touch early here, go back to normal speed. My formula for like what's an acceptable price, I'll call it, is an hour and a half of playtime per dollar. And it's pretty easy to achieve. I don't think that's too like outlandish to kind of expect that out of a game. We should probably step through this. Oh, I didn't know you could do up to 5. That's pretty cool. But there's games where I've like well surpassed that. So that math probably needs a little adjustment, but I've got 600 hours in DayZ. I think more than that already. And that was like about the same, like $24. So Escape from Tarkov, 8,000 hours. That's nuts, man. I have 3,300 hours in Rust, and that's my longest played game. I don't like to admit that, but 8,000 hours in Tarkov. You must be into arc raiders then, is just my assumption. Why did you... He's like, hey, we're going to hold the countdown, and then let's get to 5 minutes, but then I'm going to hold the countdown. 2017. Good on you, man. I've never even played that game. Final checks. Alright. Set launch control switch to ready. Let's do an old center look. Click. Soup temp to number 3. Let's pop over there and do this the proper way. Not for everyone, that's for sure. Hardcore. That's kind of what I got out of it. My first extraction shooter was Hunt Showdown, and that was only like, I don't know, a couple months ago. That's the first one of those I've played. They're okay. It's just, I feel like they're good games, but just not for me. Okay, to mark. I was about to say, I don't know if it's like holding my hand through the final checks here. 3 again to the mark. Most people rage quit due to frustration. What's funny to me is like I've never been, even as a kid, and now I'm an old man. So like there's no raging. It's all good fun. Last night's DayZ run was the end of a 6-day adventure that was abruptly ended. We want to go to UHF. We're there. So yeah, so 6 days ended in the blink of an eye. You know, you can't get mad. It's a game. Have fun. Radio check. They got me again. Do not press the button. I like how the button press and cover removal is the same button. You just double click it. I haven't paid attention to that. Stick to core no more than that. 5 games. A lot of people... I play a DayZ with a guy. He only plays DayZ. Like, he hasn't played a different game since he was a kid. And, like, that's crazy to me. Like, I love getting into other stuff, but that's dedication. That's something I don't know if I could do. Arm the squibs. Okay, it's all the separation squibs then. That makes sense. Arm the retro jettison. Okay, kicks the engines off. I don't remember what the Mercury what the Mercury vehicle looks like. I probably should have looked some of that stuff up, but Kerbal was hard. Dude, it's so much fun. I'm gonna, just from playing this and doing this little, like, before the window closes bit here on this game, I'm gonna jump back into it, because it's so much fun to try and, like, to get each milestone. I'm assuming this is gonna be very similar. Alright, let's go through ascent procedures. I'm assuming we actually have... Ooh, I accidentally clicked that. Okay, yeah, we actually do have ascent procedures. 2.5 minutes. It should be united in the rocket start climb. That makes sense. I'm guessing... Okay. I didn't know if he was going to blab at me again, or... I haven't. Maybe I'll have to look at it again at some point. I recommend it, man. It's a curve just like this for sure, but that one's cool because, you know, there's not set procedures, right? Like, you build your own stuff, you got to figure it out yourself. So that's probably not for everybody, but I really enjoyed it. I'll definitely be heading back to it soon, I think. Maybe even this weekend. We need to first monitor the mission timer starts. If it does not, you need to quickly press time 0. Okay.
Let's kick the checklist out of the way for a second. Time from launch. Altimeter going up is always a good thing. Okay, we want to look at that. Are you a real pilot? I am. I am a real pilot. That is my profession. Board light in the top sequencer panel needs to be monitored continuously. So light, not switch, is what I gather. Pull the handle by pressing Control-Alt-Z. We'll just go with pulling the handle. Got the abort light. Rogering that. I play Flight Sim 24 with all the sim hardware. That's awesome, man. I need to get the A320 stick and throttle and stuff like that. I've got like an old... Where's the box? It's behind me over here somewhere. Like a Sidewinder or something, you know, like what we used to play with. How many years? 20, 25 years ago? Probably more than that. Cycle through the gauges, various gauges, quickly and often. Yeah, and that's the thing that you got to get used to, which gauges are important. Fuel tanks. Okay, auto and manual. That makes sense. You're not burning fuel in there a little bit here. There's our G meter. Have the honeycomb yoke and throttle quadrant. I should know what what you're talking about, but I don't. Yeah, I've seen some of those dudes that just get like awesome setups, like where they kind of like get in a cockpit chair almost. It's pretty cool. All right, we've got cabin pressure. There's our pressure. We need maintain cabin pressure of 5.5. Got it. 49-inch screen. That's crazy. You're in the game at that point. That's immersion level screenage right there. Check the pitch needle. Got it. 90 degrees makes sense for our current configuration. Oxygen. That's an automatic switch. Diagnose and abort. I'm ready for some countdown, man. Let's do this thing. I'm ready to screw this all up. Of flying the A2. I've done a Cessna 182 on floats. That's the extent of my float plane experience. Very briefly. Just 1.8, I think, is all I've got on floats. They're fun, though. Fun for sure. Yeah, okay, we got it. DC volts and select system. Altitude continues to increase when you're below 100,000 feet. Let's go back to main view here. Adjust the temperature. It's chilly in here. Somebody warm this place up. Or exceed 120. Temperature setting below the hatch. Temperature, temperature, temperature. To the right. Cabin temp. Okay. Yeah, so the 3 mark is just a baseline, and we adjust from there. The sequencer indicators. Left of the main panel. I'm assuming these... They don't tell you what to do with failures yet. Yeah, I can imagine. Pull out the checklist. Step 1 of any emergency. Ugh, flight school instructors. If you've done everything correctly, good luck. Alright, clock has started. If it hasn't, time 0. Monitor the abort light. G-force, fuel level. Cabin pressure is here. Total oxygen there. And main bus DC, which we're on. Resume the countdown. Psh, no way, man. Let's do this. Let's go peek outside. Wonder, I'm assuming
that was for us, maybe? Maybe like the last ditch emergency to get out. I don't remember the name of the tower, but that's our emergency eject, if you will, to separate this in case it goes splodies. What's the surrounding look like? Okay, there's some stuff. I didn't know if there would be anything like actually rendered in, or if it was just like, you know, kind of looked like this over here. I'm blabbing here. I forgot we could speed time up. Gotta stop time just for a moment for tea time and then speed back up. Ten times as scary. Right now that's like, oh, it's so fast. Don't do that. But I can imagine as soon as you start getting into orbits and stuff, you want to speed that bad boy up. Alright, let's chill out for a second. Let's let it get to 30 and then we'll calm it down. My favorite part is the whole thing so far has been if you did that correctly. Check the volts and amps every 30 seconds. Good reminder. Godspeed, player one. I feel like that's very foreboding. That's something I should pick up on. That's cool. Alright, umbilical disconnects. We've got the clock going. Yeah, I did. Don't boss me around. The altimeter's coming up. Slowly pitching towards the horizon. Fuel is still good. Got oxygen, looks good. Battery's good. Yep, we already did this. To 6 Gs. That'll get your attention. Yeah, we're losing pressure in the cabin to stay at our 5.5. Okay, that makes sense. We should slowly be tilting over. Total O2 looks good. I mean, I'm at the main DC already. Oh, and then check all of them every 30 seconds. Okay. And then these we don't care about because they're off. That spare bit there kind of made me question that a little bit. Okay, back on main. Altitude still climbing. What do we buy? Thousands. Going up to 90,000 feet. Temperature still good. Where's the 20? Okay, it's about the 12 o'clock position. Sequencer lights. I did not look at the abort light. Jettison tower. And separate capsule to turn green. Out to the ascent capsule, yaw 180. Yeah, which we're approaching now. And orbital attitude automatically. I know I should be looking at gauges, but I want to see the separation. Which has got to happen here in a second because we just expended all our fuel. There's like all sorts of bad stuff going on inside and like I don't care. I want to see what it looks like. I did the same. It's just a natural, right? Doesn't it make sense? There we go. That's cool. Rehearsing. No way. Bonus points if I detected the third battery? No, I didn't detect the third battery fail. You know I didn't.
Every 30 seconds wasn't even close. I did it once, even with the reminder. All right. Launch and ascent complete. Here's the thing, right? So I always jump the gun. You did tell me. It's true. See, I told you. I always jump the gun on these before the window closes and make kind of like my halfway impression. And we're not quite halfway. Checklist and Alice. This is where, and this is what's going to be my point. I think this might be where the game might lose me a little bit. Because it's a simulator, right? But it's also a game. So that's like, where is the line? And like, it prides itself on being super accurate, which I don't know. I wasn't a Gemini astronaut, or Mercury, excuse me. We're not even to Gemini yet. So I don't know how I feel about needing like procedural stuff. We'll wait till you have to take the exam. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. They'd be like, what failed on ascent? Like 28 seconds after you were supposed to check something the second time. I'd be like, So I'm not sure yet. We're halfway, not like I said, not even halfway. So it's too early for my initial impression. But I don't know. We'll do a couple more of these. Obviously, we got an hour and some change left to be playing this bad boy before we'd have to return it. I just hope it's not repetitive clicking buttons. That's what I'm talking about. You know, it's like you can't really recreate the state of it being an emergency. You know, you just like hit M, go over to whatever emergency. I didn't even look. I don't even know if this has emergency checklists. I assume it does. Before we actually listen to what he's got to say, let's do that. Flight mode, systems, entry. Yeah, emergency procedures. Okay. You know, if I click this up when something does go wrong, do I feel anything? Like, am I like, oh no, I better stop this? Or is it just going to be like, click, 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 click. Okay, now I'm done. I don't know. Like I said, I'm jumping the gun. I've been too nitpicky already. So let's just kind of keep playing. I'll try to bottle those up as we keep going here. Okay, Alice rocket. Let's take a peek. In its pyramid of stuff. Control Shift Z. I'm just gonna pull the thing. I don't know if I would, like, it's all there. It makes sense, but I barely remember F5, F6, F6, F7. Launch large vehicle, enough thrust to propel and take you into orbit. Okay, we're going around the checklist, and this is going to be the taste I think that's necessary to see if this is something I would stick with. Hold the countdown. Because I think here, you should almost be clicking a button if you don't know how to do it. Like, it's like, it walks you through that again, which is good, but if it's something similar, or excuse me, simple, like hold countdown, if you don't know how to hold countdown on the third lesson, you know, you're going to need to go back and do stuff over and over again. Briefing tab for a primer on the checklist system. I kind of accidentally used the checklist, so I'm gonna be, this is potentially an ignorant move, I'm gonna go with, I'm not gonna call it winging it, but we're just gonna go into the checklist. Do you say you should do each lesson twice? Yeah, and I saw that, and for me that's a tad much. You know, if you want to be like the re-entry expert, I can see that. But for me, I'm like, meh, let's blow something up and see what happens. Okay, pre-flight, checklists, back. Pre-launch full internal power. Okay, yeah, we held it just into -10 there. Yeah, because I don't know, like, I would need a cue for when to do the checklist, but not necessarily, like, you don't need to walk me through the, unless it's like totally foreign to me. Switch to internal. Have fun, gotta go, have a sim race at 9:30. All right, man.
Well, enjoy your race. I will have fun. Thanks again for stopping by. Hope to see you next time. Cycle through all the batteries, monitor voltage above 24. And isolation at 29. Standbys should be Dunzo, 29. Back up. Yeah, like, I don't know what the point of that was. Like, oh, the rest of it's already done. Like, why did you walk me through the first part of it if the rest of it's there? Final checks checklist, so we can go back. Final checks. Same steps we did in the previous lesson. I know. I'm familiar. I actually looked here before I listened to you yammer on at me. Learn mechanics and basics of the ascent. Checklist guidance system. I'm assuming that's what this is. Oh, the blue. Press either of the two most identical run buttons on the lower right corner. One more time? Almost identical. Okay. So I'm assuming this is like from the top and from the bottom, maybe? I can see something popping up behind. Okay, well that's more helpful. Is that transmit to UHF? I'm be curious to see if that runs through all of it. Let's hide that just to see if it does or not. All the checklists queued up, add in the checklist guidance system. Its UI appeared. Okay, so yeah, that's that. That's the right way to do it. I don't need to physically look at a checklist. Like, just show me, you know, that I've activated it, if you will. I don't need to actually see it. Yeah, that would be something I'd disable for sure. Otherwise, you'd just be, you know, complete handhold the whole time. Press the checkbox on the right side for you when the game detects the step's been completed. Now that I'm okay with. Yeah, I imagine if it tells you, you know, set, but doesn't tell you what to set it to, you're going to have to click that by yourself. Okay, so like right now, you'd have to manually check that. Yeah. Okay, so add on or start from that checklist were those two buttons. Resume the countdown. Complete the checklist. Countdown resumed. Okay, so then we can do our radio check. Radio test on the UHF. Let's go high power, check it. Back to low power, check. Cover removed. See, this I like. This is, you know, like, you're holding my hand, but not really, because this is literally how you would do this. DC select bat 1. Arm the squib, which was here. Yeah, I would turn this guidance off for sure. Time scaling, yeah, we talked about that. Ascent checklist. Checklist. Ascent. Okay, pressure, temperature. On booster separation, start ascent. Beco checklist. I didn't even pay attention to those lights. I think it was because I was trying to look from outside. Read through this before ignition to get familiar with it. We're good. We're familiar. Let's do this. I think at 5 minutes? No, okay, we just did the 5-minute checks.
Take some more peeks outside. We should be starting to kick those away. Okay, I think that's as far out as those are going to go. We'll just leave that where it is and then kick it off so we're not looking at it. Get our time going and drink some tea. Abort the launch, we've run out of tea. I think the problem is that I've played Kerbal Space Program first. So as cool as it is to sit inside the capsule and flip the switches and stuff, I want to fly the spacecraft. And I don't feel that way. Like, I get it, this is how it was done, right? But like, I don't know. I think it crosses like much more, and it says a space flight simulation or simulation game. I forget the actual verbiage on it, but I need a little bit of gaminess. I need it to like take me out of the simulation enough to have fun with it. Okay, we've got good time. We're pulling G's. Fuel is good. Altimeter is climbing. Temperature's alright. And oxygen's good. What do we got going on? Looking good. Don't run this yet, but we're gonna scope it. Let's check some batteries. Remove some weight. 210 into the flight, so when the clock hits 210, we'll get separation. Click through all those. Main's looking good. Run through our gauges again. 30,000 feet. Should still be some clouds and such looking outside. That's cool. I hadn't done the orbital look yet. Yeah, okay. Okay, I can buy that. Maybe not the best representation of 30,000, but... Alright, we're pitching down to the horizon to 0. Run through our stuff again. I never saw these lights come on. Jettison Tower Amber. We still do have that though, don't we? We do. Okay, so that was what it was talking about at 210. Which... got 30 seconds left for that. I think next lesson we're going to pull it. I want to see what happens. What is... tracked? I hadn't paid any attention to this. Kind of looks like a nav display, but... Alright, let's click through these bad boys one more time, since we have failed this test more than once. Okay, so there's Amber. Approximately 20 seconds after that. Booster engine cutoff. Current objective. I like having the current objective though, like how it tells you what's next, since you're not, you know, there's green. Mission is waiting for you in order to proceed. Tower separates into initial step. Okay, sustainer engine. Let's go peek outside at that, because that's just going to be the main engine, right? Yeah. Okay, so we're just going to follow the checklist. Auto retro. Let's come over here to off. Retro jet fuse switch. Retro jet fuse switch. Okay. Auto retro jet switch. Retro jet fuse switch. Disconnect power only the circuit user to switch on the right side of the main panel. Okay, that's not what I expected. Set it to off. Okay, so that's off. Yeah, here it is. One off and then two. Okay, so we're not going to accidentally kick those bad boys out. Emergency retro jet fuse. Same situation. And then start ascent checklist. Subversion cap amber, then green. So that's going to be... Yeah, sep cap. Okay, capsule. They got to be careful with that. This says sep cap. This light does not say sep cap. Obviously, intuitively, but... Okay, we should be quite set up for orbit at this point. We're still burning, though. Monitor the instruments as you learned in the previous lesson. Get familiar with the data points. Okay, so that's going to go amber, then green. That's all we need out of that. And then orbit checklist is going to be next. Let's turn that off for now. Looks like G's are starting to come down as we lose our friction. Altimeter is going to be pegged for the duration. Oxygen is good. Temperature's good.
Rico. Plasma grenade fired. Okay.
There we go. Very cool. Observe out the windows. Automatic turnaround maneuver orients the capsule. For retrograde. What was the navigation reticle? Yeah, we kind of see a little better out the window there. Alright, orbit checklists. Let's do a run. Turn that back off. Alright, orbit. Well, that was DC selector main, and I totally switched that off. I think I'm supposed to be on battery 1 for the whole ascent there, and I've been kind of botching that one off. Okay, we're running it. Complete the checklist. I'm assuming this is telling me what panel to look at. I think left panel, maybe? I mean, it's there. Which, again, I would turn that off. The assistance is nice, but... Let me get a better view on that. You can't quite see that underneath that is off. It looks like that says arm, but... Retro sequence fused false? Wouldn't that be off? We're just making up words now. Drug deploy fuse false. Do a little peek out at Earth. What is this about? What? Why are you why are you giving me a bad score? Oh, it's just fuel percentage. I thought this was like my grade sheet. Okay, I think 100% what we're gonna do in about 15 minutes. So we did checklist, attitude control, staying alive, exam full mission. Okay, what I was gonna say is we're gonna jump over to Apollo and try that. But I think the full mission on the exam here will do us better. I'm not going to do the electricity module, and okay, we're going to do 5, 6, and then we'll do the full mission, and then that'll be our determination. Hopefully I can get through that in the next, what, 45-ish minutes? Yeah, because that'll put us below our time. So let me kick a 45-minute timer on. We'll try to hack through 5 and 6, and then do the full. And then if we need to cut short for kind of final determination, that's what we'll do at that point. All right, RCS makes it possible for spacecraft change their orientation in space. I assume that will be quite important. I think the thing I'm struggling with the most is the price right now. Like, I don't see, and again, I keep comparing to Kerbal Space Program, but they're both like spacecraft piloting, space exploration games, right? So there's a lot of segues there. Once you fly the Mercury mission, what else are you going to do with Mercury? Like, unless you just really enjoy flipping the Mercury switches, I don't see how much you can get out of it. Like Hank was saying earlier, you know, you're hoping for Apollo, or not Apollo, rather, the shuttle, rather. You know, that's like the end goal for playing this game is like, you know, give us the shuttle. Okay, we're obviously in a little bit of a spin here. That it is correcting itself. Okay. Okay, I think this is more of a systems tutorial than it is like us actually using the RCS. Okay, so the change in pitch as it adjusts it. I'll go into free mode if I can't see the horizon. Yeah, I'm totally gonna botch this exam. Okay. Reentry, let's get familiar with the controls. 4 pull handles. Black manual pull handle and 3 white handles. Okay. What's rectangle called ACS? ACS mode. So, oh, that's referring to this. Okay. With 3 switches. That was a weird way to word that. I don't know why that took me a second to pick up on. A rectangle. I'm like looking for like a rectangular switch. Okay, set to norm. Auto. Guys, it's losing me a little bit. This is the nitty-gritty stuff that like I'm almost not not reading what it's walking me through here. Yeah, how like system A controls this and system B controls that. Like, it's a deeper simulation than I think I would enjoy for stuff like that. I get it, right? That's like complaining that you're playing a flight simulator and you're like, oh, I don't want to understand what lift is. Like, I get it. I get it. Okay, you can use your stick. So you basically have like the main system, a backup system, and then you. Low thrust or high thrust. Okay, we're in auto, so we just need to set it to fly-by-wire. Alright, so W and S. Okay, I get it. WASD QE, right? It's basically like, you know, there's your yaw. That's going to be roll. And this pitch. And it's not that that's a setting, right? Like that's the change in it. If we look at this here, right? Like we're pitching up and then we set it to pitch neutral, but you need to make sure that you're on the degrees that you want to be. And that we're also burning, should be manual fuel at that point. Use small thrust, slow rate to get your desired orientation. So what they're talking about is like, you know, instead of like blasting this all the way to the side, like just do small corrections and let it do its thing. Auxiliary damping. Pitch rate of plus or minus 3 degrees per second. Pitch rate indicator, which is going to be this, I think. I don't know what the max is. Okay, 1 degree per second. So, there we go. There's 3 degrees per second. And then if we set that back to auto, it should aux on. It should correct itself and dampen that right out, right? Yeah, it did. And that should have burned a little bit of auto fuel. Set this to norm. Rate command. Pull direct push. Okay, so now I see it correcting roll every once in a while, so I think there's still something that's going on there, but alright, rate stabilization. Back to norm, it is. Push that back in. Yeah, so this should... I can't do anything. Auto, norm. That's weird. I haven't touched anything, but it's doing like these crazy adjustments. I don't know if it's trying to find the horizon like it had talked about. Yeah, that must have been what it just did. I can't influence that at all. Deflect the stick. I think something was off there, but that's okay. Switches at norm. Oh, I think that was supposed to be there. I think that told me to switch it, but I might be mistaken. Pull it out. Yeah, okay, so I only have pitch. So you can single them out by pulling. Let's push that back in so it does its thing. Okay. Yeah, that one is a little much just for the sake of like... it's a touch boring, really. I mean, that's kind of what it really comes down to. I want to do Staying Alive just to see, like, what are you talking about? Like, is this where we're going to do some failures and stuff? About 35 minutes. So we'll kind of fly through this. I think that took about 10, so we'll have about 25 minutes for the final, the exam bit. So let's go ahead and hack into this. Environmental, temperature, oxygen. You know what? Let's not do it. Let's do this. We're going to dive right in. We're going to see what happens. Okay, successful completion will get us a certificate. I definitely should have looked at electrical system because like I get checking the voltage and stuff like that, but I don't know what to do in this thing if something goes wrong. Like in that first ascent, how number 3 battery goes out, like I don't okay, whoops. You know, I assume 1 and 2 pick up the load just like other aircraft, but who knows? My initial reaction, my initial thought rather for tonight was to try to jump into Apollo. I'm kind of glad I didn't do that. I do want to see what it looks like. So I think after we either botch this or slam dunk it like nobody's business, we'll go check that out. But let me check to see if we've got an accurate representation of how long we've been playing real quick. Oh yeah, it won't update until I get out of it. So I'm gonna have to trust. I think I just crashed it. I did. Let's see if we can wait for it to respond. We might get the opportunity to see. Okay. It kicked me out of it. But I hear music from it. Okay, we're good. We're good. I don't know what you guys saw during all that nonsense. It kind of looks like it froze for you. No, okay, it's still doing its thing. Alright, pilot certification. We're doing suborbital flight and a splashdown in the Atlantic. Got 20 minutes. Alright, we're splashing down the Atlantic. Launch, suborbital insertion. There's the cranes going away. Oh man, we are not prepared for this. That's okay. What we're gonna do is rely heavily on the checklists. We don't have our little queue-in window, but we will have these bad boys. We're at less than T-minus 20, so we need to do this. Left fuse panels. Are these already in position 1? We need 6. All rock back. Squib switch. Arm. Auto retro jets to arm. Norm. Auto. Retro delay switch. Retro delay. Is norm rescue switch. Yeah, it's manual, so that's going to be auto rather. Pressure regulation handle in. Pressure's on the other side. Let's run this way like we were doing earlier. Okay, wait, what? That's not what I'm doing. Phase shifter? Oh my goodness, that's all the fuses. Well, that didn't do what I wanted to at all. Okay. Pressure regulation handle. Pressure's up here. This is all the temperatures. Cabin pressure. It says handle also. We're gonna skip this here in a second. I don't even know what that is. I'm just like, I've never looked back here before. Because that's... There we go. Push to reset. Pull to dump. So that's pressure and decompress. That's in, which it is. Retro attitude switch. Retro attitude switch. Attitude to retro. That says auto though. There it is. To auto. Retract scope switch. Auto. Landing bag switch was down below. Manual. Auto. Control fuel. Auto and manual both 100%. Cabin pressure indicator should be at sea level, right? Yep, maxed out. Cabin temp below 120. Suit temp indicator. Suit temp. There we go. Steam vent. It's not the same, is it? Because we got the cabin air. Suit environment. So it's there. It just doesn't say suit temp. Suit pressure indicators up and good. Primary action, secondary should be full. They are. Suit fan switch is norm. Cabin fan switch below it norm. DC volt snob main. Ammeter switch norm. Feel like I'm actually racing the clock on this one. ASCS AC bus. AC bus switch norm. Because this is the ASCS. Bus switch. Squib retro. Yeah, this is why Apollo would be tough. For sure, because here I am trying to find one switch and I'm not locating it. Maneuver. This is all the electrical stuff. That's the environmental. Wonder what this is a hook for. Out of all the things I could have questions for in this. Pressure leg regulator. Oh, okay. Water seal. Fire, half G. That's petroleum manual pressure decompression. This ASCS is kind of the only thing. AC bus switch norm. That's electrical though. Oh, okay, there we go. ASCS, AC bus. I don't know why that took me so long. Norm. Standby battery switch. On. Isolation battery switch to standby. Inlet valve power switch norm. Inlet valve powers norm. Audio bus switch norm. Fans AC bus switch norm. Vox power switch off. Vox power's off. UHF-DF norm. Norm. Let's actually get the proper view on this since I'm looking at it sideways. Transmit switch off. Beacon switch continuous. Emergency O2 handle norm. Emergency O2. That says handle. I don't see. Access suit, emergency switch. Because what does that say? Tone and off. That's the audio. Warning lights. I mean, I assume it's got to be over here somewhere. Emergency O2 handle norm. It says pressure regulator. Because the O2 gauges are here. So it does say handle. That's the only thing. And these are switches. But it does say O2 emergency. That looks like tone or off. So I'm going to leave that alone. Hopefully, hopefully we're in a position where that's going to save us if something goes wrong there. I think that's just, yeah, that's just my hand there. What is that orange? That orange bit there. I don't know. I just realized it's doing the use timescale if you want. Okay, T minus 10. So we're creeping on it. So we didn't blow it. We didn't technically find everything that we were looking for. Fuel, we checked that. We checked all this stuff. Oh, I definitely didn't want that to be the thing. But it's good. It checked us through. So that's actually a good check for doing it the first time. I feel like you do it a couple times and you come back through and you would make sure, you know, that like
you would turn that switch help off. Alright, waiting for T-minus 10 to switch to full internal. There we go. Monitor bus voltage. So we've got it there while we switch. Okay, amperage came up, so we're pulling off the battery. Use the tools menu, got it. Isolation battery, go back to norm. Standby battery off. Check all these out. Shared load 1, 2, 3. Standby's off. Isolation of 29. At T-minus 5. Start final checks. One more speed up. I feel like at this point, this last little test here might kind of revitalize how I feel about the game. But like I said, I don't know what the difference between doing this Mercury launch and the Mercury missions would be. So I don't know if I would be able to determine whether or not I would even keep this, because I'd almost have to see somebody else do a mission so I don't blast over the 2 hours. Now, the fact that this dude has done this, like, it's awesome anyway, right? Like, it's a super good accomplishment. I can imagine it's a good simulation. But I don't know if it's simulation for me. Let's go back to normal time. And do this bad boy up. Launch control ready. Let's go over to the right panel. Suit temp. To mark. Cabin temp. I keep saying I was going to do this, but... And inverter temp is 3. I think when I click that, though, it's going to skip through all the stuff it can't check. So I'm just going to check this real quick. Okay, it did it properly. Transmit to UF. I'm going to do our radio check. Verify time 0 button. Cover is removed. Don't press the button. DC volt knob to 1. Yeah, I'm supposed to be monitoring that and then do the cycle through. Squib switch arm. It is auto retrojet switch arm. Auto retrojet arm. At 30 seconds we do ascent. I kind of almost like not using the checklist. The helper. Like, I like having the actual checklist up. Check our real life time. 21 minutes. We'll see if that's enough time. I assume it is. It'd be kind of a bummer if we have to stop this in the middle. But it'd be a good ending to it, though, if we fail something completely and like overshoot our landing spot or something crazy like that. The music is fitting also. Like, there's like a tension build to it. I haven't taken a look outside either. I'm assuming, yeah, we're all separated out. This was at T-minus 30 seconds, right? I think that's what I had said. Monitor the abort light. Don't let me abort. That would be a bummer on my final test. Let's just monitor the isolated battery voltage. Cabin pressure. Oh, okay, it's just to go through it. And I think we're sitting on Atlas. No, this is red zone. Okay, we've got time. Tip capsule separation. No abort. Fuel is good. Pressure should be coming down. Not yet. Altimeter, we needed that to raise.
Okay. Booster separations are next. 5 minutes to retrograde. Time to retrograde. That's ticking down and then burn for that long, it looks like. Port light's good. That has, okay, snorkel. That's on the way back down. For those, to go off at those times. So at 2:10, I think is our next mark. It is. That's when our tower separates, or jettisons rather. Fuel, internal temp's good, cabin pressure's coming down, 5.5.
Cabin pressure is holding at 5.5.
Yeah, there it is. My man knows what's up. Cycle through, standby's off, isolation up, back to main. Looks good. I don't know if it's main or master, I don't remember at this point. Okay, we're still waiting on 210. Yeah, sound effects, music, stellar. Absolutely perfectly fits. Like this with choral number here on the launch, like during the real thing. That's cool. That, like, it really sets the stage for it. And on booster separation. Man, I don't know if we're in the redstone or not. Okay, so jettison tower amber.
Cut off. Tower jettison green.
Yeah, so we're in the Alice. Okay, auto retro jet switch off.
Cap step is green.
Feel free to explode using the RCS and enjoy the view. Emergency retro jet fuse switch. Emergency retro jet. Start ascent. Second engine cutoff. Subcap amber then green. Start orbit checklist. Orbit. DC volts. So this is where you're going to just monitor the whole system at this point. You're just making sure your batteries don't fail at that point. Minute and a half to retrograde. Landing bag switch. So it's auto off manual. That's really hard to see down below there. Retro delay switch norm. Retro delay is norm. Emergency retro sequence fuse. Retro sequence fuse off. Prepare for retro using the pre-retro checklist. I don't have time for that. Emergency drogue deploy fuse off. Emergency drogue deploy off. All instruments check. If out of range, radio station set UHF for longer reach. Okay. What was the pre-retro? Pre-retro. Cabin temp cold. Suit temp cold, so they're not hot. Inverter temp cold. Inverter temp. How much time we got? 28 seconds. Emergency retro sequence fuse. Emergency retro sequence fuse. On. 1, 2, 3 retro rocket fuse. On. 1, 2, 3 emergency retro. Periscope fuse. On it is. Let's go through this actually. Oh, crap. Okay. When it said cold, it means like turn it down. The fuses we can roll through. Retro jet fuse. That sounds very unhappy. Retro jet fuse. Stop yelling at me. I hope it's doing what it's supposed to because I haven't completed this checklist. Retro jet fuse. Where's fuse. This is all emergency stuff. Retro, emergency, retrojet. That says retrojet though. That'd be a real big bummer if I already blew this. Retrojet fuse false. That doesn't say emergency though. Okay, it's still doing its thing for that. We should be... We're not in the right position, I don't think. I think we should be kind of engines facing that way. MIP. Retrojet fuse. Because I feel like that shouldn't be amber. Attitude select. Retrograde time, we haven't done anything. Oh my goodness. It's been trying to tell me the whole time. Maintain retro attitude, auto or manual. Because now it'll be flipping me around. Yeah, okay. We're changing our pitch. Well, that was close. Start retro checklist. I'm not even following my stuff. Why is this over here? We'll blame it on that. Okay, if the retro sequence tell light fails to eliminate retrograde time, the retrograde sequence can be started by depressing the retro sequence button. Okay, fire retro is good. This might have been an issue though. Retro sequence. I think we're okay. Retro sequence is good. Retro attitude. Oh, we're not where we're supposed to be. Okay. Let's... Can we put this in manual? I'm gonna go external. Now I'm gonna put that back in auto. Okay, are we in a retrograde attitude? I think so. I hope we're not burning apart right now. Retro attitude switch bypass. I just saw this too. Okay, we didn't blow up. Fire retro depress. I think we're okay. We're coming down very quick here. We're good with the entry. Retro reentry. Auto retro switch arm. Oh, well, I think we're behind on that. Retro jet fuse on. Retro jet. Let's do this. After retro jet. Okay, so that's the jettison. Which, yeah, jet retro, so that's good. Attitude select re-entry. 0.05 G, tail light is green. FG meters are good. Rate indicator shows 10 degrees per second of roll. We're not rolling at all. This landing checklist. Drug is out. Next will be the main chute. Well, there's an aircraft carrier waiting for us. I don't know what's yelling at me, but I feel like it's kind of been what's going on the whole time. Alright, the landing checklist. Drogue fuse on before 30,000. Let's put this into place here. What is our altitude? We're at 10. It did deploy. Ring open, snorkel out. I think that's okay. Ring open, snorkel, emergency O2 handle. I would love to see where that was because we messed that up. Landing bag auto. 10,000 feet main. Light green. Well, we're below 10. Oh, we're right there. Main is out. We got main light green. UHF direct RT. Man, I wish I would stop doing that. Press reg handle out. That's pressure regulation. It's got to be on the other side, right? We're going to say that it's good. I don't think there was a landing bag is green. After impact, 2 switches. Is that this? Fuel quantity. Oh yeah, because we don't have any, yeah, there's nothing left, so that makes sense. So we can just flip that audio off, because that is annoying. ASCS, AC bus, and photo lights. So the ASCS is there. Photo lights? I don't know. Won't get too mad at us. What's our altitude? About 6,000 feet. Well, I mean, we almost blew it, and we still might. But I think with the main chute out, we'll be okay. Now, that gave me a taste of it, right? Because you would turn the like the switch guidance off, and that was the setting in realism. And I think following the checklist. So the walkthrough, like the reduction in difficulty is you start doing the way I just did it with the checklist helper and the blue boxes around the switches. Second, you turn off the blue boxes around the switches. You do the realism, no switch assistance or whatever it said. Second would be you don't use the checklist helper. Got the scope. And then the last thing is like you just do checklists with no help. So I think the gameplay, like loop, if you will, is a personal thing, right? It's like you try to peel back these layers of assistance. It does look beautiful though. It really does. It's super cool how they've got, the carrier out there. It'd be really neat if they had the, like the little boat that comes to get them already pulling up. The lighting effect is really cool. I didn't seal up the cabin though, so let's see. No? Okay. Splashdown. Welcome home, player one. No, so it's cool. It's like extremely well done simulation. Let's acknowledge that. Passing exam. Hey, you official role in Discord server. Let's go. How much time do we have left? Not much, just a few minutes before we bust into the 2-hour bit. Like it's an excellent simulation. Like as far as simulations go, when they're like, "Oh, Euro Truck Simulator," I know people are into that, and I just don't get it. But you do feel like you do feel like a time pressure, and like I have to complete these things and get this switch flipped at the right time. Because this is the kind of stuff that I'm curious of. Is like, okay, create new mission. That's cool. I'm assuming this will be like Steam Workshop. Because for Apollo, flight plan mode. Okay, each one of the different, Apollo missions. Maybe not. Just numbered for what their stuff is. That's cool. You'd have to do 13.
Okay, development roadmap. Multiplayer. We have an external view, don't we? Oh, okay, external graphics. So that's cool. I mean, I don't think they're bad now. That's not really the focus of it anyway. But that'd be cool to see, like, you know, a legitimate Earth as you look out. He's going to improve on systems. Core systems maintenance. Sound. I mean, I don't think sound design needs any work. But good for him for keeping this going. Yeah, I think it's a great simulation. The fun factor, I think, for at least for me, right? Like I'm not a space history buff. So I think for me that's the part that's kind of lacking. Is where I really need it to be more fun and not just like have the Switch do the thing that the Switch is supposed to do, if that makes sense. So I think for me, I'm going to return it. But I do definitely wish the dev, I think it's a single dude. I think it's one guy. I might be mistaken. But the dev team, or if it's just him, 1.08, I didn't even realize we were already upgraded once. The best of luck, because there's going to be a huge following for this. I can already tell just based on knowing the demographic that this game is pointed towards and kind of what you could expect from a game like this. So awesome sim game. It'd be really cool to run through the Apollo stuff, and if the shuttles ever comes and you can actually, like, you know, land the shuttle, I'll probably come back to this. That probably would be what it takes. It just launched, so kudos already on what it got. But I don't think it'll be for me. So for this episode of Before the Window Closes, that'll wrap it up for Reentry. It's not going to be one that I'll add to the schedule, as it is going back to the store. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the game. If you're grabbing it, don't take my playthrough for, you know, what it's worth. I just kind of give my initial thoughts on it and how I feel after 2 hours of playing it. I feel also this is one of those games that 2 hours is not quite enough time to let you know whether or not this is a game for you. So I would say go look some stuff up, watch some videos on it, watch the video that the dev does on it on how the best way to approach this thing is, and that's how you should go about it. For me personally, it's not one I'll stick with, but like I said, I'll keep it on the radar. I'll every once in a while I'll check back in and see how the development's going and see what's up with that. But thanks so much for coming out tonight, guys. Hank, appreciate you once again for the conversation and the follow. We're doing tomorrow. What are we playing tomorrow? Tomorrow is Parcel Dash, which the dev had reached out on Reddit looking for some people to play his game on stream. So that is tomorrow. It's like a fast-paced, what's the Deliver at All Costs? It's kind of like that. I think it's just a solo dev, though. So we'll see what that's all about tomorrow. Then Thursday, we won't be on. Friday is Back in My Day Friday with Quest for Glory 3. Saturday, back into DayZ. We'll be starting Deadfall. And then I'm not sure what's up for Sunday. Maybe nothing, but we'll see. It's going to be a busy stream week, though, for sure. So for this episode, Before the Window Closes, we'll be returning Reentry. Thanks so much for coming out once again. And if you're watching this at a later time, I'm Elder B. Take care.